Good morning, everyone. I think we'll get the webinar started. Most people are joining. If any join on, that's absolutely fine. Thank you very much for joining the Anonymous Connections webinar. Today, we're joined by our good friends at Akixi. They're going to explain how call analytics can help your business. My name is Jim Marshall-Andrew. I'm the Sales and Marketing Director for Anonymous Connections. With me is Matthew Cox, who's the Head of Marketing, and we have Mike Rogerson, who's Head of Sales at Akixi. A little bit of housekeeping just to start. Hopefully all of you now have sufficient audio. You can obviously listen on your laptop, headset, or dial in. If you have any issues, you can see on the left-hand side there's a little circular hand. Please press that hand and that raises it with us, and then we can assist you. You can see there now the highlighted question box. We will be going through all questions at the end, but please put them in and we'll go through them. We're going to be recording the webinar for you, so there's no need to take notes. We will automatically send it out at the end of the session. So what we're going to cover today, what do we mean by call analytics? We're going to give you an introduction to Akixi, their business, and what they do. Most importantly, what we want to do is give you a feel for some of the key reports and do a live demonstration. We'll then cover off any questions that you've put in the question box. And then importantly as well, we'll be sending out a post-webinar survey. So if you can complete that, it would be much appreciated so we can help improve these sessions moving forward. So why call analytics? I think this is very, very important for businesses. It helps you uncover information and discover trends. It can help you see how analytics can work for your business. It allows you to report in numerous different ways. The system itself is hosted, so you can access it across multiple sites and include multiple different teams. It basically allows you to make informed decisions based on the information that you can see, which you may never have seen before. So we found it to be incredibly powerful. What I'd like to do now is hand you over to Mike Rogerson from Akixi to go through the agenda items, and he'll be going for the next 15 to 20 minutes. Thank you. Mike, over to you.
Thank you very much, Jim. Good morning, everybody. It's Mike Rogerson here from Akixi, as Jim's kindly introduced. Very quickly, just to initially cover a little bit of background about Akixi. Very proud to say we've recently won the Comms National Awards for Best Call Management Solution. So we just won that award of late. And I guess reasons, in summary of why we've won that type of award, is what we deliver. It's basic call analytics through to advanced call center reporting we have through Akixi reporting. We have exclusive Horizon partners. We've got over 500 UK sites deployed and over 2,000 sites globally. In terms of why you would need Akixi in your life, I guess there's 5 key reports we've noted that customers deploy on a regular basis, and they're the key reports that myself and Anonymous would like to go through with you today. If we jump into those particular reports, the first of the reports is this report here called the unreturned lost calls. Now, the report is one of the top 5 reports we've got deployed. Speaking from experience, this report was actually deployed into an IT distribution company 5 years ago, who are still using this report today. They didn't realize when they actually took the phone system that they were missing calls and how many they were missing. In fact, when they looked into it further using Akixi, they realized on average they were missing around 11 calls every morning. Each of those calls had a possible GP of anything from 20 to 60 pounds, as they're actually selling gaming headsets. When they drilled right into the data and what was happening, which was from this report summary, what they established was the calls were being missed every morning between 8:30 and 9 o'clock. And in actual fact, it was people who'd been playing online games all night and the headsets had gone faulty, wanted to order the new ones. The sales team would have a sales meeting every morning and leave one person taking all the incoming calls, which happened to be one of the busiest periods of their day. When they opened this report, they saw all these red calls. The red calls in this report, which is running real time, if I just demonstrate here, are actually real abandoned calls. So these are calls where customers have hung up before you've had the opportunity to answer. The calls in green within this report are where one of two events has happened. Either you've called your customer back and been answered, or they've called you back and you've answered this time round. All the green calls are purged every 15 minutes from the report, so all you're left within the report is a real-time view of any calls that you have missed. You can actually, as a manager, even call the customer back. So if we left-click with the mouse, we can say call now. That will initiate a call out from my phone, and we can see actually I've now got an active call here. If we look very quickly in another report, we'll actually see that report, that call live here. It's already completed actually. And we can end the call as well if we need to, but it's gone green in this report. If I just end that call, we'll see a call go green. Okay, so we have the ability to call the customer back from the report and address the call. In that scenario, you could say, I'm really sorry, we missed your call. Let me transfer you to one of my colleagues, and you could just transfer the call to that particular colleague to take the call. Okay, so very quick and easy to be able to respond to that real time and actually return your customer's call, whether that be a sales call or a customer service call. Okay, so the next report this customer deployed and other customers deployed, the next top 5, is our desktop wallboard. Again, this report is running in real time. So again, it's showing me real-time events. And currently, we've actually got the report filtered to show calls coming in to just one of our numbers. But we can actually look at more of our incoming sales numbers if we wish to, just by left-clicking in the quick device filter and clicking refresh. And we might see more activity on this report now, once this refreshes. We'll move on to that report in a second. Actually, we'll look at the next report. Forgive me. Doesn't normally take that long to run, but there must be a lot of call data going through this demo facility at the moment. So the next report we'll look at, whilst that's updating, is the extension list. The extension list report is something that comes from the back of the wallboard and lets you see and manage your teams in terms of the incoming calls. So you can actually measure the incoming call activity per individual. And we can see here, Lewis is currently on an active call. So is Dylan, Benjamin, Ryan. We can see all of these individuals are on the active call. They've had a number of calls presented to them by the Hunt Group. They've had a number of direct dial calls come into them. They've also had, we show how many have answered, how many they've abandoned, and we can show outbound call stats as well. Okay. We've got total toll times, and we can see a couple of individuals on the team have actually put themselves in D&D. I can see they're at the desk, and they've not told me why they're actually going into D&D. With a left click of my mouse, I can bring up a pop-up window and take the D&D off that user's phone. Same with Lewis, I can take D&D off. I can, if I want to, with one of these individuals in green who are on an active call, left click and monitor by barging into the call. Now that would actually be a barging, but I could mute the audio and listen to that call silently to listen to the call live as well. Okay. We can take a call that's ringing on somebody's phone, which is highlighted here. We can see it alerting if we hover over that. We can left click and we could steal the call or pick the call up. If we send the call, we'll send the next call on to somebody else instead in the list. Again, I'm not looking at who it's gone to individually. I picked the wrong person. We'll try Dylan this time, saying call to Dylan. He's not on a call. Should see that move down to Dylan now. Previous one I tried to move along, Ellie was already on a call when I picked her randomly. But we can move live calls around within the call flow, and we can see who's on calls real time and control the phones. We can view this report real time, or we can look at any of the reports in Akixi in different time frames. So if we look at it for today only, And this is how the report may look if you schedule a SB email to yourself. Or you could alternatively download this by clicking export to show it in a CSV file. Move that back into real time, and we'll take a step back, forgive me, but we'll take a step back and recover the 1000 wallboard, which is now showing stats for more numbers. Okay, the stats we're seeing on this report, the first stat is about waiting calls, so any calls coming into any of those sales lines, we'll see the calls waiting and how many are waiting. Second stat is where we see how long they've been waiting. We can see in those four sales lines, we've got 2 answered now calls, we've had an overflowed call off, we've actually had 85 abandoned calls, answered 560 of the total of 646 calls. Haven't got a great service level. We're not showing any outbound on this, and at the moment, they're the current talk times. Within the report, we can modify what we're showing on the wallboard, so it can show more or less. If we do make this go full screen mode, I'm just going to press F11, we see the tiles auto size. If we want to change the order of the tiles, we would click Modify Report, and we can add or remove from the report, which I'll demonstrate on another report as well. And we can change the alarms that we've got flashing, and we can change the field values. So I'll change this to a fuel gauge, click Apply. We can see that flashing, which is the alarm set higher than 0. I'll now demonstrate just changing that to a different display. Okay, so very quick and easy to make changes to the way the report is going to look. Also, we have a service level within the report. Again, easy to implement the service level, so at the moment we're only at 1.5%. We can modify the report by clicking on Modify Report, go to Settings, 10 seconds, and we'll actually set these all to be 10 seconds. We won't see a huge improvement in the service level, but we will see some, up to 14%. So we can actually control what our target to enter time is, which will influence the service level. And these two reports, we see lots of different businesses use to soft KPI measure both outbound or inbound teams and measure the activity at a team level to deliver service. The more advanced customers that are using Akixi that have high volumes of calls may be using reports as follows, like the Akixi 2000 report. Again, this is a wallboard style, but this report is designed for those businesses who have high incoming call volumes or want to measure the activity of the agents beyond the calls themselves. So the first things we can notice is we can see that we've got 3 people signed in and we've got 3 people available to take calls. If somebody actually goes into busy or unavailable, we can measure those stats, and we can also see the average time that people are spending in those states. Again, we can add and remove more information, more detailed information to that report. And just to show some of the report stats we could add in there if we wanted to, we can actually put the number of people in break, lunch, at the doctor's, in a meeting. These are just examples of how they could be set up on your phone systems. Okay, so it gives you the ability, top line, to see what is happening within the business and why it's happening. I'll just add a few of these in to demonstrate how it will automatically size the report for us. Okay, so we've added some information into that report. We could add another 2 tiles to even that out, or we could reduce the number and remove other stats. But if people were in those states, we would see those in those states. And I shall demonstrate that as we move through. The next report to look at that would be another version, another report, the ACD agent list. Again, one of the most commonly deployed reports, certainly in conjunction with the 2000 wallboard. This lets you manage those call queues that we're looking at, where people have signed in or out, and the state of the agent. So we can see here, agent 528 is actually on a busy call at the moment. Jane is receiving a call from the queue. Doug is receiving a call from the queue. If one of these agents were to press an option, and we may see this live in a demo, of putting themselves into break, we will see that reflected in the report. We can assign people in and out from this report. So I will actually sign Laura into the report now. Laura is going to sign into device 113 and is going to sign into this particular queue, the brochures queue. Now Laura is available to take calls from that queue. As a manager, I can set her unavailable code. Again, just left click, set not available code, and I'll put Lorna into handling SMS at the moment. And I best plug my battery in. Forgive me, everybody. I thought that was actually plugged in. There we go. So, the Lorna is now showing inner status in SMS. If we look on the wallboard, if I've got that showing on there, we haven't, so we'll change the state to doctor. Which is on the wallboard. I've now got 2 people in the doctors, and we should see this reflected in the wallboard. Which isn't actually happening, which is the first time. There we go. Now we're reflecting it. I never had the setting it checked. So we've got 1 person in doctor. Again, forgive me. I'll just change another state. Real time. This is how it would work for a customer. And we can see someone's in lunch there now as well. So we can change the state of the agent. We can see who's on active calls. We can listen to who is on the active call if we need to, or barge into the call, or steal a call. And we can actually manage all of that from the reports themselves. Again, all of these reports can be changed from a time frame perspective. We can change the output of the reports, but we can also schedule every one of these reports, and we'll look at scheduling the extension list and the ACD agent list very quickly. So we say modify, scheduling, and we can send it on a one-off, hourly, daily, weekly, or monthly basis. I'll pick daily. And this could be sent 8:15 every day in PDF file format. The report would actually then send you a copy of that report in PDF every day at the time frame you've set. It will also insert a chart, and we can show an example of how the chart looks here. Okay, and it will actually show the names of the individuals that pose the extensions when it sends the PDF. Okay, so very quick and very easy to schedule reports, to manage the reports real time, and effectively manage your business. And that's just 5 of the top reports that we have available within a suite of Akixi reports. There's over 200 historical and real-time reports to choose from. So Akixi's definitely got the analytics required to deliver your solution for your call and for your business. Okay. Back across to yourselves for any questions that people may have on Akixi.
Brilliant. Thanks for that, Mike. Hopefully you all found that a very powerful demonstration of the product. I think, Mike, you did such a good job. Currently, we don't have any questions, so if you do, please fill them in on the questions box, and then we will field them.
Fantastic. Thanks very much, Jim.
So, thanks, Mike. So if you do have any follow-up questions from this, please contact your account manager or our support desk. You should have all of your relevant NOMIS information, and we'll be more than happy to help and go through anything you want to find out about Akixi. As mentioned before, hopefully you found it very powerful to see all the cool stats and analytics to help your business and make some strategic decisions. We will be sending out the recording as discussed to everyone and also a post-webinar survey. If you can make sure you just complete the very quick survey, it would be much appreciated. It helps us improve these sessions moving forward. Many thanks for all of your time. I hope you found the session useful. We look forward to seeing you on the next one. Thank you.